being here. It's just about amazingly few more seconds.
Erica's trying to get on, Linda.
Thank you. Okay. All right, well, we'll go ahead and start the meeting. It is now 5 p.m. on January the 11th, 2022. Thank you all for being here. I have to say that Lydia Sepadawson is in Ethiopia, and Greg Baruso is no longer a member of the committee. We will have Jack Walsh will be our new chair coming up, and we are joined by Deputy Mayor Susan Honda, who will become a voting member today because we're going to need that. And so we are joined by Jack Walsh, our council member, new council member, and Karen Brigado, who is on the Arts Commission, along with Vicki Chenoweth, also Arts Commission. And Eric, you're telling me that Erica Norton is coming on. I don't see her yet, but she may be joining us.
She's trying to log on.
Log in. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all very much for being here. And we'll start the meeting with the approval. Wait a minute. Call the meeting to order at 5. Well, it's now 5:01 p.m. And is there any public comment?
No, there's not.
Mary, or?
No, there's
okay,
not.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Jenneke. Thank you very much. So we'll move on then to committee business. With the first item on the committee agenda is approval of the November 15th, 2021 minutes.
I move approval of the minutes.
And I'm going to, thank you, and I'm going to second that. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion is going to have to carry because we're out of people here. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the Arts Commission, the 2022 work plan. Cody, get it? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Kochmar. We are asking for the approval of the 2022 Arts Commission work plan, and attached is the full work plan. I have with us the chair of the Arts Commission, Vicki Chenoweth, and the vice chair, Karen Brigado, here to answer any questions about the proposed 2022 work plan and share any highlights.
Okay, thank you. So would they like to make a presentation on the work plan?
Well, I think, may I speak, or Linda?
Please, go ahead, Vicki. Yeah.
So part of this work plan is, you know, that, and I know that Karen also wants to speak as well, but, you know, we have been struggling to try to keep this budget of $42,500. This has been our budget for years and years, not changed. And we've compared it to other cities that are the same size. And we fall way short on helping these groups. So when you go to look at our work plan and you see the numbers and what they've asked for and what we're able to give them, I mean, it's almost embarrassing that we cannot help our local arts community any more than what we are doing.
Okay, Vicki, Ms. Chenoweth, I'm looking at your requests and the allocate. So I'm wondering if you would like to, so we'll be having our biennial budget presentation by this summer. And so what would be helpful if you would come back with a proposal, because the budget's already been set, but with a proposal that you would like to see somewhere near the time that we start talking about our biennial budget, and perhaps make a presentation at an upcoming Parks meeting that perhaps Jack Walsh could then, the new chair, that could then carry on to into the budget negotiations. Okay. Is that something that you feel you can do?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can.
Vicki, are you the chair?
Yes.
Sure. Ms. Chenoweth, are you the chair for the coming year?
We haven't voted
of
on
the
that
Arts
yet.
Commission?
We haven't voted on that yet.
Okay, all right.
That will be in February. At our
I have
meeting.
some
And I
questions
see,
on the-
thank you. And Karen, you,
Mhm.
go ahead. Go ahead, Deputy
Oh.
Mayor.
Darn, I lost it again. I have some questions on the work plan.
Okay.
So I have to get back to it. Okay, so with COVID the way it is, are you still planning on doing these projects, like having I lost it again. So are you still planning on having art at City Hall and down at Knutson?
Yes.
The art at City Hall has changed. I don't know if you noticed, behind where you sit has been taken over by the mayor with all of his pictures, which are very artistically displayed. He's let us have the ground floor. We've determined that that's not an appropriate place and it's quite small. So what we've done is appropriate the red wall at the PAEC.
What do you mean what do you mean the mayor took it over? Wasn't that just because of COVID and we didn't have any artists there?
Mhm. Right, that's true. We have asked him to move it. He says no.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That as a ex-arts commissioner and chair for 3 years, that's not well, okay, I guess we'll talk to him because that's just not appropriate. It should not just be I'm speechless. Okay.
Exactly. But when we get the red wall at the PAEC, that is probably just as many square feet as the second floor of the City Hall. Right, Cassie? It's about the same square feet.
What wall is the red wall?
Well, as you're facing the performing arts, as you're facing the, oh gosh, you know how you go on the side to go to the bathroom?
Mm-hmm.
Your right hand runs along the red wall.
So is it set up to display art like it is at City Hall?
Yes, we will have ways to display art there. It is a worry, though, when it is open to the public. Brian Hoffman has told us that he plans to open up the box office. I don't know if the rest of the PAC is open to the public. It is open, of course, during concert time, but I don't
Only
know
if you pay.
when that is.
So is Brian Hoffman worried about security and
Yes,
art?
security, custodial stuff. Yeah, he's worried about the hard costs of having it open to the public.
Uh,
May
Go
I
ahead,
ask a question?
Councilmember Walsh, go
where-
ahead.
Where would it have the greatest visibility? I mean, with where it was there in City Hall, with every city council meeting, everything, there's, people are along that area where it was. It seems like it would have more. I think we should be paying attention to where there will be the opportunity for the most people to actually see it.
Exactly.
Where would that be?
At
The
City Hall.
second floor, but it's covered up with pictures of Federal Way's history, and the mayor just doesn't want to take it down, and I don't blame him. He gives us the first floor, but the first floor has the police on one side, pictures of you on one side, and the Federal Way schools have a little niche there. It just doesn't allow us much room, and
it's not acceptable down there. There's just no space.
right, and security and some other things. Yeah, it's.
So I think go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
What about the student art contest with the courts? That's still on?
Yes, still
and,
on.
Blue Poppy Days is going to happen?
Yes.
May
May 21st.
Exciting.
Yeah, May 21st.
Yes.
Yay. Oh, I'll put that on my calendar now so I'm around.
All of the groups are still performing. I did hear that the center stage might have to backtrack the next play because of the Omicron. So that's the only one affected at Dumas Bay. And I will have to say at the Knutson Family Theater, that's another place that has been designated as being a site for artwork to be. It is not traffic ready. Not everybody just goes down there to see the art, obviously. They go down there to see center stage, but the art will be there.
But the art is open. I mean, people can go there and see the art at any time when Dumas Bay is open.
Right.
Unlike the past.
Do you guys still get a grant from For Culture for the Red, White, and Blues Festival?
Cassie? I think we do.
Yes, we still receive $14,000-ish from sustained support from For Culture that supports Red, White, and Blues, supports Summer Sounds, and Friendship Theater, and we have been receiving that ongoing support.
So can the Arts Commission apply for other grants from For Culture?
Yes, I mean, there's more hoops to jump through as a government entity versus the nonprofit, and Karen and I actually were on a call this morning about this, but yes, there are other opportunities. It's just more limited.
Okay.
All right, so I'm wondering, this is an issue, which of course we'll go back to talk to the mayor about. But Councilmember Walsh, I'm wondering if you wouldn't carry this forward as a topic at your next meeting, which will be February the 5th, I believe, February the 8th, for a topic. Let's see, John, maybe you can make sure that John Hutton, maybe you can make sure that that's on the next committee agenda.
Yeah, let's make sure it's on the agenda.
What do you want the issue to be on the committee?
The placement of arts at City Hall.
Okay.
Or art
We'll
placement at City Hall. Thank you.
You're
Meanwhile,
welcome.
we'll talk to the mayor. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, does that work for you? Okay, so we're back to the 2022 work plan. And is there anything that you want to discuss about that? I see it's in the agenda. Did you want to talk about it or present it, or?
Vicki, you want to do?
Oh,
Cody, did you want to?
Do we have anything to put on up, or I don't know?
Well, the amounts look.
Well, normally we don't have anything. You know, there are people who listen in.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And Vicki and Karen, we're still on
ahead,
just
Karen.
the work. We're still on just the work plan right now. So we're just presenting the work plan. The next agenda item is the contract for services. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
I think it's a very good work plan. I think you'll have a lot of work, and I look forward to it. So
we're enthusiastic, especially about the arts explosion. We really want to see the ability to get everybody within Federal Way to display their art, multi-generational, diversity, inclusion, all together to show their art. And it's kind of tricky about the budgeting to get it to be on. And that's something that we will present this spring when you talk about budgets for next year.
Okay. So what I'm getting at is that we're not, we don't have anything that's presented on the screen. So I'm wondering if you want to just read what the work plan is.
Do you have the work plan there, Vicki?
I don't have the.
I have it. I can read it if you like. Cody, is there anything you wanted to say?
I think most of our work plan is similar to what we've done in the past. The focus is going to be on unwrapping a couple of utility boxes again this year. Karen's got a project she's working with the schools to do that. We're going to have Summer Sounds concerts in July. We're going to be bringing Shakespeare in the Park back in August. We're really trying to move forward with the gallery program at Dumas Bay. We were able to purchase a hanging system for the pack for future artists to hang at. So we are trying to move forward the best we can. with the resources that we have this year. And then also we'll follow up with the 42,000 that we'll be giving away to local arts agencies in the contract for services. But I think those are our highlights for next year.
And Blue Poppy Days.
Oh, and Blue Poppy Days, definitely. Red, White, and Blues Festival. And then, like Karen said, we're really trying to push this arts explosion at the PAC that would bring a lot of local artists together. And that would be, we're talking about that in early 2023, but we don't have the funding mechanism for it yet. And so that's one of our goals for 2022 is to identify some funding.
So do you have you done a call for artists yet?
For the arts explosion?
No, for the galleries.
Galleries we do. Cassie, I don't know if Cassie is a panelist, but if she could speak to that. We do have, I think we've limited it to 4, and we won't start until Dumas Bay is kind of back up and center stage is rolling in February. But we do have plans to hang our first artist in mid-February.
And is it still $200 an artist?
I believe that's doubled to $400 per artist now, per hanging.
Yeah, and we have 4 artists lined up. They were left over, I guess you could say, from 2020. So we do have a call for artists up, but at this time we're limited at Dumas Bay. So that's plenty of artists for the rest of this year. So yeah.
When do you intend to hang art at the PAC?
We have a work order in to install the railing, and so we can potentially hang some artwork this year. If we're and same with the PAC, like we're waiting. I mean, hopefully they're back up and running at full schedule in the fall, and so their fall season will be able to do something soon.
Has there been any effort to? Can I just make a quick comment? Has there been any effort to coordinate the arts program?
Of course.
With the schools? I know that the schools have a student art program where student art is displayed in businesses around the city, and I was just thinking there might be, perhaps some coordination with that as well. For example, in my own business, the last 2 years we've had student art displayed on one of the walls at my business. I don't know how many other businesses there are that do that.
Well,
but
that
there's
was
possibility of some type of coordination with
that. Was actually Jack, council member, that was actually brought up. That started from the Arts Commission going to the Dr. Deborah Campbell, and then instead of incorporating it with the Arts Commission, they took it on themselves to just do it that way.
All right.
And we have some of that we have a screen at City Hall right outside the police department with student art.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Karen is working with the school's art liaison to try to do some traffic graphic, those wrap boxes, to have some student art on the boxes outside of some of the local high schools too. So we are in conversations with the school district and their art department.
Yeah, and the courtroom art that Judge Larson supports, that is also done through the schools.
Great. Okay.
Well, thank you. Very good discussion. That's what I wanted to make sure that people knew what you're doing. A lot with very little money. So sincerely appreciate that. Both Ms. Bergardo and Ms. Chenoweth, thank you for all of your hard work. I appreciate that, as well as our staff. Thank you very, very much. So is there a motion?
I move to forward.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to.
Do you want me to make
it? Go ahead.
I move to forward the proposed 2022 Arts Commission work plan to the January 18th, 2022 consent agenda for approval.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion is passed. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. By the way, just as an aside, I think maybe we need to get Councilmember Walsh and Councilmember Norton one of our backgrounds so that they have a virtual background showing City Hall for them. So maybe the both of you can talk to our tech department about that. Thank you.
Very well.
Well, thank you very much, Karen, and thank you very much, Vicki. So now we're going to the next. Okay, the next item on our. You're still up. So the next item on our agenda is the Arts Commission. Go ahead, please.
Oh, I just wanted to just to remind the council members that they are invited to our meetings on the first Thursday of every month at 8:30, and we have not been there. We have not seen any of the council members in at least almost 3 years come to our meetings.
Well,
I appreciate that.
We did see actually.
Maybe we go ahead.
Councilmember Hanna did come to one, especially. So.
Okay, I have to say so sorry.
The one when they presented the elephant on the pole on the desert.
Yes. Yes.
And if I'd known about that, I would have been there too.
Right.
So sorry. I think maybe what we need is a invitation on our calendar. Maybe if we could remind whoever is going to replace Jerry Lynn that so that we have the Zoom link, because I think you've been meeting by Zoom, correct, for the last couple of years? Yeah. So we need that Zoom link on our calendars so we can get in. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. So the next item on the agenda, oh, by the way, that elephant is, I don't know if it's still in play or what's in play,
No,
but keep an eye on that one.
It's not.
Thank heavens.
In fact, Mr. Lipsky, I have a standing invitation to take him around Federal Way to all the booze places he could possibly ever want to and get him convinced that elephant needs to go. So
it'll go to some other unsuspecting city.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. It's on its famous trek elsewhere. Thank heavens. Okay. So now we're moving on to item C on which is the Arts Commission 2022 contract for services. And again, Cody Geddes is up. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Councilmember Kochmar. We are asking to approve the 2022 Arts Commission contract for services funding. And just a little bit of background about Arts Commission contract for services. Local groups and agencies, nonprofits come to the Arts Commission and asked for funding for the 2022 season. The Arts Commission takes in applications, reviews applications, and then we set up interviews to go over their applications. They asked for, I believe, about $80,000 in total this year. We have $42,500 set aside from the general fund that's in the Arts Commission budget to break up amongst the groups that applied. And so this year, I believe we had 9 groups apply, and the Arts Commission is recommending funding of Center Stage Theater at $16,500, the Federal Way Chorale, $4,500, the Harmony Kings at $2,000, the Federal Way Symphony at $8,500, the Federal Way Youth Orchestra at $1,000, Rosebud Children's Theater at $4,000, Auburn Symphony for a performance at the Performing Arts and Events Center at $2,000, the Federal Way Lions Make Music Day for $1,000, and then we had the Pacific Islander Association funded for their project at $2,000, and they're located in Federal Way. And then a new group, Acts in Motion, for $1,000. And Vicki and Karen are here to kind of explain the process on how they came up with that funding mechanism, and also if there's any questions about what the groups would use that for.
So I'll start, and then I'll let Karen, because she's the numbers cruncher. And but so when we look at each of these groups, we look about at what they're using the funds for. We also look about who they're attracting, what groups they're attracting. You know, if they're all anyway, and several of these groups they do give scholarships to students or free or discounted performances as well. So anyway, I'll let Karen go over the numbers with you.
Mm-hmm. The numbers are pretty simple. We looked at the only parameter that we had is their costs for the year. That's their costs that they're putting in the city of Federal Way. You can't get better than to have somebody put a lot of money into the city of Federal Way. So when we looked at the costs and what each group was asking, we could coordinate that. And I know some of these numbers look a bit different than past years. Namely, it's probably the Federal Way Symphony. They were getting the majority of the funds in past years. But this year, their budgeted amount that they're willing to put into the city of Federal Way fell drastically. I don't know if they are being prudent or some other means, but they only asked 10,000 instead of their regular 25. So that's why the symphony has gone down to 8,500. And actually, they're the only group that received over 80% of their funding. The rest of the groups are in line with their ask and what we can give. The new groups, the Pacific Islander group, I'm really excited about because they're showing cedar weaving and some other things. They're bringing their elders here. They're teaching the young people, and it's open to the public. 20 people per time. It's a great way to show the Pacific Islanders' way of making their weaving. Acts in Motion is another group that presents to mainly kids through their website, some kinetic movies that it has inclusion and diversity. The other groups are pretty much the older, well, not the older, the established groups that we already have here in town. I will note that the Jet City Chorus hasn't asked for some years because they kind of are, I shouldn't say blended, but maybe they're performing with the Harmony Kings at their one concert a year. I will note that a lot of the groups are there, but they're changing. The Federal Way Chorale no longer practices in Federal Way. They practice in Auburn. The Harmony Kings don't practice here. They practice in Bellevue. The symphony doesn't practice here. They practice elsewhere. And I'm not sure what the Federal Way Youth Orchestra is doing because their contract is up for the PAC, so I'm not sure where they're even practicing. The groups will be here, but they won't really stay unless we can fund them some more.
So I have some questions when you're done.
Deputy Mayor, go ahead.
Expenses for center stage seem quite elevated. Why is that? Well,
you see in 2020, they had about 345,000. Well, 345,000. In 2021, they had expenses of 134,000. And this year they had expenses of 235. 235,000 is about what their expenses have always been. Is probably what their expenses of the Federal Way Symphony has always been. So the center stage isn't doing anything really different. So that's why it doesn't. It really 2021 year was an odd year.
True.
There just wasn't much going on.
So are they doing the same amount of plays that they've done in the past?
Yes, they are. 5 different plays a year. Yes.
What about the symphony? Are they doing the same amount?
Yeah, they're doing it, but they're not performing as many times a year. They used to perform at least 3. Well, they had 5 different concerts, which they performed 3 times each. Now they have 5 different concerts that are only performed 1 time at the PAC.
What is their attendance like? So they used to do the 3 concerts in the church, which was a lot smaller. So does the attendance equal what they would have had at the church in the PAC?
Yeah, pretty much. The church sat about 450, and maybe. The bottom of the PAC seats about 500.
Okay.
Were those that's the seating? I mean, what kind of actual attendance they have before as compared to now? Do we have any idea on that?
actually, those 3 concerts were very well attended, each one. The ones in the evening were attended by those who could come after work. The afternoon by mostly the well-established crowd who like to go Sunday afternoons. They also had their dress rehearsal that people like to attend to as well. But now it's all in one. And I know it's probably because the PAEC is expensive. It is the most expensive place down here to have a concert.
Is the reason that they're not practicing here is because the only option is the PAC and it's priced out of their range, or why are they practicing? I mean, Harmony King's going clear to Bellevue rather than here in Federal Way. I mean, what is the reason for practicing in other areas rather than here?
You hit it right. PAC is just too expensive. I've had a couple of the groups come up to me and ask, since the PAC is not used on Mondays, have it be available for all the groups to practice. We could have one have the stage, one have this room, one have that room, one have the balcony. We could have it just one day a week for all the groups to practice.
And that was a good idea, but somebody should have made a proposal or requested that.
No, it'll be in our proposal.
Wonderful. Good.
You know, Rosebud Children's Theater, it does a really outstanding job in Federal Way. And last summer, they held their plays outside at Sahali,
right,
in the park at Sahali, which was absolutely wonderful, except for the windstorm the one night. One of the nights that we were there, they had a windstorm. It was quite hard to keep this set on the ground, but you know, they do an amazing job. You know, with the fact that we have 2 new high schools that have 2 beautiful theaters, not all of the groups need to be in a large setting like the PAC. It would be really awesome if the school district would allow some of these groups to perform in the beautiful theaters that our tax dollars helped fund, because you know, you don't need that many seats for all of these folks. And so I'm not sure how we could work on that, but I think between maybe the Arts Commission, the council, and the school board, we could work on that, because I really would like to see some of these groups use those theaters. The one at the Federal Way High School is absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Deputy Mayor and Ms. Brigado and Ms. Chenoweth, some of us who were on the council back in the beginning did want to partner with the school district, but the 2 groups couldn't seem to come together, which was a shame. And now here we are talking about getting them together again, which I believe we should be. We should be partnering with our school district to have the performances where they appear to be the most economically feasible. And to allow the school district to also use our Performing Arts Center where feasible. And so maybe that's something we need to keep in mind and try and bring proposals back through the Parks Committee to the council so that we can review it for our budget and move forward. I absolutely believe that we should be working with our school district. So a new chore for you, Councilmember Walsh.
Yes, yeah, and it seems to me as though, I mean, we should be able to work out something with them to be able to use the PAC and the city helping provide it as a in-kind grant or donation. I'm not sure the right terminology or anything, and I'm not sure the logistics of the whole thing. But it seems to me as though, I mean, hey, that the PAC is funded by taxpayer dollars also. And those groups, I mean, it seems that we should be able to work something out with them, that they should be able to practice here in Federal Way at a reasonable cost at the PAC. I mean, unless the PAC has another specific performance that is bringing revenue in. Other than that, I mean, it just would be it seems like the only real expense, as I understand it, would be just to have a staff member there while the practice was going on. There shouldn't be any other real hard expenses for the city if the city were to allow them to practice more at the back. But anyway, I think that needs to be
sure,
explored.
Councilmember Walsh. Sure, you and John Hutton could possibly discuss this and come up with some kind of a proposal.
Excellent.
I don't know if John is still okay. Thank you.
Cody, could I please get?
Okay, are we?
I have a question for Cody. Could I please get the applications that each group gave? I'd like to read them.
Yes, no problem. Yep, Cassie and I will get that over to you tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Shall we? Go ahead.
Are you ready? Okay. I move
Yes,
to forward the proposed 2022 Arts Commission contract for services funding recommendations to the January 18th, 2022 consent agenda for approval.
And I'll second that. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion. Well, not yet. Motion carries. So thank you very much. Thank you. So that's the last item for the arts. And now we're moving on to the jail services contract with the Gallup City Jail. And I see that Commander Neal is here rather than Chief Wong. So Commander Neal?
Good evening, Committee. The policy question here, should the Federal Way Police Department enter into a new agreement with the Puyallup City Jail? When we left the SCORE facility, we originally contracted for 3 guaranteed beds at Puyallup. We are no longer using those. And although we will save approximately $137,000 from there, we will put that money towards our extended beds at SCORE Jail. We still will remain, there will still be an agreement with Gallup that if we need to put a prisoner there, we can. We just will not have guaranteed beds.
All right. Thank you. Are there any questions? Deputy Mayor?
It's not about Puyallup, but is Yakima open yet?
No.
Do they have a timeline when they might be open?
No, it all hinges on COVID.
What is our average daily population now?
Oh, it's about 24 to 30.
And are they mostly at SCORE?
Yes. Yeah, we now have a contract with SCORE. We have for the last several months. We have 7 guaranteed beds, but we usually get about 18 people there.
Okay.
And did I read that half of those were for mental health, or a portion of were mental health folks?
Yeah, that's one of the issues we had with Puyallup jails. They don't have the resources there to handle those types of prisoners.
Mm.
You know, I'm wondering, we're putting them in jail, but shouldn't they be in treatment beds somewhere?
That's something for the courts to decide.
Okay, thank you. Well, it certainly makes a lot of sense to me that we're not paying for beds that we're not using rather than prepaying. So that's a good contract where we're paying $158 a day for the Puyallup. Is that correct, Jeff?
We will, if we put someone in there now, then that's what it will cost us. We had a contract, we had guaranteed beds. I believe it was something like $137,000 a year for the 3 beds, whether we had people in them or not.
Wow, good job.
Hey, good question.
Although I would like to have more people arrested. Excuse me. Go ahead, Councilmember Walsh.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you said that, Council Chair Kochmar had asked about why they're in jail rather than a treatment bed, and you said that that's up to the courts. Do you know if the courts are opting for jail beds rather than treatment beds simply because treatment beds are not available, or does that play into the decision? Do you know anything about that?
I don't really know anything about that. I would say that I do know that we do need a lot more resources as far as is concerned. There's no doubt about that. We need more treatment facilities. I can tell you that region-wide, nationwide.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that I think that needs to be one of our priorities on our legislative agendas in the future from our treatment beds. Are there any other, is there any other discussion, questions? Anyone? Okay, seeing none. Is there a motion?
I move to forward the proposed agreement to the January 18th, 2022 Council Consent Agenda for approval.
I'll second that. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. You don't get to vote yet, Councilmember Walsh.
Okay. Okay.
You will in the future.
I wasn't sure, so I figured that, hey, if I said aye, it wasn't going to hurt anything. So.
Okay.
You get a vote on the consent agenda for it all.
Better than nothing, right? Yeah, there you go. Your honorary vote, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So moving on to item E, Washington State Department of Commerce grant. And again, Commander Neal, it looks like.
So the policy question is, should the Federal Way Police Department accept an $11,408 grant from the Washington State Department of Commerce to purchase less than lethal equipment? We would like to purchase 10 modernized launchers, less than lethal launchers with that.
And what would these do?
Okay.
They shoot a variety of 40mm rounds. They are less than lethal. So rather than having to use traditional firearms, if you will, you can use what we call less lethal deployment on them. It shoots, it's a variety of sponge rounds, let's say, that temporarily incapacitate. It could also shoot rounds that have OC or OC spray in them.
I was listening this morning to the state legislature public comment on this, and one of the police chiefs said that it's really difficult to get this equipment because so many people, so many departments need to buy this kind of stuff. Is that your experience?
Well, we haven't asked to purchase any for a while. These are replacing probably a dozen or so that we have at this point. They have more modernized sights and capabilities than the ones that we have. Plus, they are generated through CO2 rather than explosive means. So they're just a modern version. Ours are outdated, and these would be much more useful.
Well, do you know if these will be difficult to purchase because of the demand around the state for this kind of stuff?
I don't believe so. I don't think we'll have any problem purchasing them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the same meeting this morning, legislative meeting that Deputy Mayor was on, and they were talking about House Bill 1719, use of military equipment, and they are limiting the use of rifles. So my question to you is this launcher, I'm trying to figure out what this launcher is. Is it like I don't know what the launcher would look like. Is it like a rifle or a handheld?
It looks like a short barreled rifle, only it's 40mm. It's very large as far as the bore, and it shoots sponge rounds out of it, which can impact people and incapacitate them temporarily rather than having to shoot them. And the other thing it can do is launch the same size projectiles with OC gas in through a window of a house to insert gas into a house.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we've deployed them, and for decades. They've been around many years.
Okay. Thank you. So none of the new bills that came out last year limited the use of the launcher.
They did in the beginning, but that has since been corrected just because of the verbiage in the bills. But that has since been corrected where we are able to use less lethal. It was really not intended to use, not to use less lethal.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I move to forward the proposed grant agreement to the January 18th, 2022 council consent agenda for approval.
I'll second that. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. So again, Commander Neal, public safety testing subscriber agreement amendment number 1.
So policy question is, should the city of Federal Way Police Department amend the contract with public safety testing to increase compensation? So this is the company that we use to do our assessment centers, whether it's for promotion, generally that's what it is, promotion and hiring. And we ran out of money last year. We were looking for enough money to both pay our bill last year and also anticipated testing processes that we will have this year for a total of $25,500.
Okay.
So how much do you owe from
Any
last year,
questions?
Bill?
I think we owe about $8,000 or $9,000, I believe. And the reason for that was the money that we had allocated. We had a special assessment done by them, and we did not have the money in there in order to pay for that.
Can I ask why you didn't come to council to ask for that?
We didn't really notice that money. There's a little glitch in our system, and that's what we talked about last time, was the fact that that money was allocated to an agreement that was actually too old. It had actually already expired.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't caught until a couple months ago, several months ago.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, feel free to come to us when you need things like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, we certainly would have. It's just that it was something that was missed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead.
I move to forward the proposed contract amendment to the January 18th, 2022 consent agenda for approval.
Thank you. I'll second that. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Well, we're to the last item on the agenda. Thank you very much, Commander Neal.
You're welcome.
We're to the last item on the agenda, which is the 2022 Diversity Commission Work Plan. Sarah Bridgeford. Hi, Sarah.
Evening. Thank you for having me. I have just a short presentation. It helps me stay on track and collect my thoughts. I thought I would just share that here. So first, I would like to thank Shakina Davis and Brandon Bruin, who are two commissioners who did most of the work to update the plan and present it to the commission, and then for us to bring it forward to you this evening. So this will be the 2022 work plan. Historically, the commission has had a 2-year work plan that runs even and odd. So it would have been 2022 through 2023. We elected to do a 1-year work plan, and then we'll go back to a 2-year work plan that will coincide with the city's budget. So in the future, you'll see us return to that 2-year plan starting in 2023. The policy question before you is, should City Council approve the City of Federal Way Diversity Commission's 2022 work plan? One difference that I will note that is not named per se in this work plan, the process started before Council had approved the addition of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Analyst staff position. But we do anticipate that the addition of that staff position will allow the commission to be able to move forward better in fulfilling its codified purpose of advising the city council and city staff on policy matters to ensure that members of our diverse community are part of the decision equation. So that's the language directly out of the City of Federal Way revised code. The commission also has a previously adopted mission to advise city government to ensure Federal Way is a community that is united amidst diversity, where everyone is equally respected, valued, needed, and cherished. Equality is not sameness, it is equivalent value. The commission's strategic objective is to engage with the Federal Way community to build knowledge about local and regional equity issues facing the city's residents, to inform their work with both staff and city council. And then here, this is just a one-page overview of the different work that was highlighted in the work plan. The commission does all of this work on a budget of $14,000. Most of that money does support the Mlk event and the Flavor of Federal Way. So with this, you'll see that their work plan includes advise staff and city council. We see more of this happening with the addition of that analyst position. As you heard in that presentation, that position will oversee things like our Title VI report, which is through Public Works primarily, but it does impact other divisions and departments like community development and community services. It will include Title VIII. Those both have very tangible reports that get reviewed and plans that are reviewed. They now come to the Diversity Commission for their consultation before it goes to any other body, whether that's staff or other commissions and committees, and then to City Council as appropriate. They may advise staff and City Council on other EDI or equity, diversity, and inclusion related issues as well. They partner with community groups. They've done that historically. During the pandemic, it has looked a little bit different. We've had community groups come to our virtual meetings. We anticipate that that will continue along with some of the in-person events that have happened historically and community conversations as well. The commission recognizes that the work is evolving. Again, not naming the staff position, it wasn't approved when this was being drafted, but just recognizing that the work is evolving and community needs do change. We anticipate that additional ideas may come forward to City Council that could lead into amended work plans as necessary, or something that looks a little bit different for the 2023 through 2024 work plan. You'll see a listing here of some of the events. I touched just briefly on the Mlk celebration and Flavor of Federal Way, as they are the two that have the most cost. The commission also oversees an elementary school book drive. So they buy culturally appropriate books that the libraries are requesting at the elementary schools, and they rotate through schools. And then they participate in multicultural events that exist at schools and with other community organizations. In the work plan, you'll see a listing of some current and prior subcommittees, as the commission does use a subcommittee structure to carry out some of its work. And with that, I will stop share, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. You're on mute, Deputy Mayor.
I forgot I did that. Gosh. Okay. Welcome, Sarah. It's good to see you. Can you, since you have a captive audience here, can you give an update on the Mlk event this year?
Yes, so we are, the commission and Jerry Lynn are actually finalizing the event. It is going to be a pre-recorded event again due to COVID. Mlk, the celebration is on Monday, and it will go live at 11 a.m. I don't want to put Jerry Lynn on the spot, but she is on this meeting. I don't know if she wants to share anything else. I'll say just a little bit more, and then if she wants to add, I invite her to do so, because Jerry Lynn is the primary staff that works with the commission and the school district in coordinating it. She does everything. I do very little. And yes, kudos to Jerry Lynn, the commission, and the school district. A lot of work to put this on. It will be similar to last year's. Students proposed ideas, and the scholars then put together a different types of work that are going to be presented in the spirit of Mlk and to honor his legacy. So that is coming up on Monday. Jerry Lynn, do you want to share anything else?
Sarah pretty much covered it all. We will be going live with the video on YouTube and Channel 21 on Monday, January 17th at 11 a.m. It will replay throughout the day on Channel 21. We are excited. We definitely had a lot of different challenges than we did last year. with the students being in school compared to being at home with COVID, because of COVID, not because they have it. So being in person gave us a little bit more challenges because everybody has to wear face masks during their presentations. So we have a little bit more muffling of the voices. But these students, scholars, really put their hearts into this, and they really, you know, they inspire you to want to do better and learn more, and they teach you so much during this event. So we're very excited. We have keynote speakers, we have some music, we have art this year. We'll also be talking about the Representative Roger Freeman Award, and we have 3 out of the 4 videos of the scholars that won the award this year. So we're really excited about it. Sadly, due to the rising COVID cases, we will not have our annual food drive that we would normally have on that Saturday prior. But hopefully we'll have it in the near future to make up for not having it this month. So I encourage everybody to tune in and let me know what you think of the video. Did anybody have any questions?
Deputy Mayor?
I appreciate your work on this. I know you start early and put a lot of time into it, so I really do appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. So going forward, this commission will be under the direction of the new DEI coordinator, correct?
That is correct.
That sounds like a good plan.
Mm-hmm. Just for clarification, this is all on Channel 21. It is not on Zoom.
It is on Channel 21 and on YouTube. It's
Thank
a
you.
pre-recorded event.
Thank you. Any other questions, suggestions? Councilmember Walsh?
Yeah, not about the MLK event, but just about other diversity commission things. You know, one of the big things is the flavor of Federal Way. There's a challenge that not too many months apart. There's the flavor of Federal Way, and then there's the taste of Federal Way, which is sponsored by the farmers market. And there's just the similarities of the name. There's a lot of confusion between them, and I think that the public out there doesn't recognize fully what each one of them is because of the similarity in names. And I don't know which one started first or anything, but it seems like that it'd be well if there were something done maybe with the flavor of Federal Way to I mean, you know, flavor of Federal Way is a great name, but is there something that it could be brand? I mean, there's a branding problem. And I think that it could be it'd be able to get out to the community more if there was not that branding problem.
Well, the flavor of Federal Way was selected as a name because it is the taste, the flavor of Federal Way. Because we do food, we do vendors, we do performances. We're much more than just the taste. And we actually did come up with ours first. So we would, I personally would encourage, no, we're not going there. But it's hard to change it now. We've been in business as the flavor of Federal Way for going on 4 years. And so to change it all now with all our branding that we already have would be quite challenging. And I do acknowledge that there is some confusion, but we're completely different events. So.
Well, no, I recognize it's completely different events, and that's the challenge. They are completely different events, but in the public's eye, there's confusion between.
Well, maybe the farmers market can change their logos and their name because we did come with it first.
I think we will have some ongoing conversations about the flavor of Federal Way, and it is a big undertaking. COVID unfortunately hit at what would have been a really pivotal year. I'm not an event planner, but a lot of event planners will talk about like year 3 and 4 as like the events that have the greatest impact in longevity and how events move forward. So we'll see what happens when we come back, but we do anticipate needing to adjust how the flavor is implemented and planned for. the commissioners don't have the time to do that large of event. We're not staffed for it, even with the DEI analyst. We're likely going to have some changes in the future in making this event possible. And can talk about branding, marketing. I don't think the name will change, but what we can do differently in terms of marketing will certainly be part of that conversation.
Well, how about the flavor of diversity in Federal Way?
I think
whatever. Okay, I'll leave it all.
I think it boils down to how much work is involved in putting this on, and if staff has the ability to do that.
Yeah, an in-person event, we start March 1st and we go strong until August, the second weekend in August. So it is a very heavy task to put on the event. And it's usually myself and a consultant. And so it's a lot. It's quite a big undertaking, and but it is also a great event. So
yeah.
No, I agree that it's a great event. I don't want to come across as critical of the event itself in any way whatsoever, because it is a great event. I just, in the public eye, there's confusion.
100%. I've heard it before and I acknowledge it, but it is my baby, so I'm a little sensitive. So, I gotta defend it, But no, I do understand.
Oh, my goodness.
Confusion,
okay.
Maybe you can come back as a consultant.
That's
hey,
okay.
I just want to mention that former council member Jeannie Burbage just sent a text message saying that the Harmony Kings still practice in Federal Way at the Journey Church. So
yes.
just as just so that you know that the Harmony Kings are still practicing in Federal Way. They're just doing it at Journey Church. Okay, are there any other questions? Any other suggestions? All right. Do I hear a motion?
I move to forward the Diversity Commission's 2022 work plan to the January 18th, 2022 consent agenda for approval.
Okay, and I'll second that. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. We're now at the end of our agenda. Thank you. And thank you both Councilmember Walsh and Councilmember Norton for joining us. Are there any other items for the good of the order? Seeing none, our next meeting will be held February the 8th, 2022 at 5 p.m., at which I believe Councilmember Walsh will be our chair. Miss Heidi, do you have anything that you wanted to add for the agenda? No. Okay. Well, thank you for being here. So since there are no other items on the agenda and it is now 6:02 p.m., I think we'll simply adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
Good night. Thanks for coming.
Good night. Good night. Thank you.